Just want to talk about a board portfolio case study, which has happened in my practice in the last 12 months. I worked with a very senior executive who had sort of reached the top of the game, so to speak, in a big international company, predominantly working in the supply chain area. Had worked for this particular business for about 10 years, so didn't have a lot of external business networks. And that was one of the challenges that he recognised as he embarked on the board director journey, and part of the reason why he engaged with me to help fast track those important business networks. We spent some time developing his personal brand. So that included his board resume, cover letters, LinkedIn profile, and a private website, which is designed to really position him as a board director versus a sort of a business executive. He was quite well known. And this individual gave himself 12 months to make the transition. He didn't want to go back into executive roles, even though that was being offered to him. He really wanted to stick to the guns, really pursue the board director career because he was ready to make that transition towards advisory work, serving in boardrooms and getting the board portfolio up onto commercial terms. He did have a little bit of advisory work that was coming through, which sort of kept the lights on, so to speak, but he did have the funds to take the year, to give himself the time to be able to do this properly and strategically. And of course, we identified the correct first couple of roles. And the first couple of roles are always a little bit on the modest side. They're not the biggest and the best, they're certainly not the big $60,000 plus board seats. That just doesn't come in the initial early days. But we took this individual onto a quality not-for-profit board and got him involved in a couple of smaller boards in an advisory board setting. And that was quite good. It helped to give the business profile a little bit of a lift and to signal to his own network that he was really making this transition towards board portfolio work. And then through my connections, I had a critical board role come up. Needed someone with supply chain expertise. Someone with this particular individual had expertise in a couple of key areas. It was a dead-on match. And it was through my connection that I introduced him to the chair, who then in turn connected him with the owner, the founder of the business. And they had a couple of meetings. And within a short couple of weeks, he had been appointed to his first really serious paid board role. And of course, he's loving the work. And that has really helped fuel, given the portfolio, some real cachet, some real credibility. So now he has about 3 or 4 little quality appointments, and he's now looking for another and another, and eventually he might retire some of the smaller ones. And as the roles sort of develop, will go up another level and the income levels will sort of rise. And you'll get a sort of a bit of an ecosystem happening where the roles start to complement each other. Took a solid 12 months to get the portfolio established, and probably another 6 to 12 months to really get it sort of humming. But certainly we have made that transition from executive director to non-executive director. And throughout that period, there's also been a bit of a mindset shift, operating in a slightly different way, being prepared to say no to people who are coming and offering you the big traditional jobs, which in this case, we're paying $300,000 plus. So it's hard to turn those things down. But when you know you're ready to go to the next level, and when you know you're ready to make that transition, you have to be prepared to give yourself that solid 12 months to be able to do the networking, do the connections, build your personal brand, get the early wins onto the portfolio, onto the CV, showing your network that you can make this transition. And then your network will often come to you with other opportunities and it will start to evolve. It's a solid 12 months of networking. There wasn't a session that didn't go by where we weren't talking about people we had to be introduced to and connected to. It was non-stop networking for 12 months, and that's ongoing. And it was a fair bit of self-promotion. And this individual struggled quite a bit with that, didn't really enjoy the putting yourself out there, but it's critical if you want to be a board member, and it's critical if you want to get onto the radar of the right people at the right time. And so you've got to be prepared to use your LinkedIn's to share your thought leadership and speak at events and show up in the right places so that you are sharing your thought leadership and, making a name for yourself, because that's a big part of being a board director. So a really interesting case study, very successful. All of my clients are successful, but this was a good one because it was that transition from executive director to non-executive director, which I really enjoy. And of course, it's had fabulous outcomes for that individual.